Hello everybody, it's the Raven Knight here. Welcome back to another channel update. Just wanted to shout out to you guys a few things. Won't take too long, I promise, and then we'll move on with our lives, okay? So let's not waste any time and jump right into the good stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, the Lark's Lamentations episode, the episode that my brother did on the railroad, took off like a shot. People really seem to like it. Y'all really seem to enjoy what my brother did. It was a long process. Frankly, he'd been planning this for a very, very long time, and my channel gave him the opportunity to actually share his thoughts. And I think that this was a pet project for him for a long time. And while he's going to do more Lark Lamentations, they might not be as long or as meme-filled as this one was. But trust me, he will still get just as passionate. And after looking at the poll, the next one is going to be on the Stormcloak Rebellion in Skyrim. Now, a lot of people have already been throwing out their comments in the video below, talking about how the Stormcloaks are the good guys and we need to root for them. And you're all expecting my brother to talk about how they're actually misunderstood. I'm not going to give away anything that he's going to say about the Stormcloaks, but I will say you will be surprised with what he has to say. It's very well thought out. We've been talking about it for a while. We very rarely do a video that we don't talk it out first, which is probably one of the reasons why they're so successful. I think that our videos do well because it's not just something we do off the cuff. Quite often we think out these things and take a lot of time to do them. That's why it may take time between when I say, hey, I'm going to do this video, and then when it actually comes out. It's the same thing here. My brother spent months preparing that last Lark's Lamentation. So when you all were in the comments saying, hey, we want to see more of this, trust me, it will happen. It's just going to take some time. Okay, so that aside, looks forward to the next Lark's Lamentation on the Stormcloak Rebellion. Moving on, next point, final thoughts on the testing grounds. The testing grounds are coming to a close this coming Thursday, and of course I will not be talking about them again, so let's go ahead and get my final thoughts out of the way. After playing more testing grounds, trying all the heroes, getting a feel for what their movesets are, thinking it over a bit, these are my final thoughts on the testing grounds. Raider is right where he needs to be. I can't think of anything else they could do to him that wouldn't be either overkill or taking away from him. I love the fact that his zone attack is now an opener. I love the fact that his overhead tap can still go into the next combo. I'm glad that they didn't make it stunning again. I know a lot of people wanted to go back to stunning. I 100% disagree. That was annoying as crap. I think it's in a great spot now. I like where Raider is. Don't change him. I think he's great. I know that some people may disagree, but that's my stance. Orochi, I think he's in a much better place too. He has great openers now. He can actually get in some good hits without just resorting to light spam. In fact, in each of the testing grounds I played, I noticed light spam from the Orochi was almost neutered. It was almost completely neutralized. Some still tried it, but it was not nearly as successful. There's still things that I'm kind of iffy about. Like, I think his kick that he now has is a little choppy, that Dust Devil move. It's a bit choppy, it looks wonky, but I can forgive it. It's still a decent opener. I like that all of his attacks now grant him access to a follow-up light. That shows that he can still get in a little extra damage, can still be punishing. He can still apply pressure where he needs to. I love that he can dodge on a recovery now. That really fits with his character, and it can allow him to keep his opponent guessing without his opponent just capitalizing on the finishing of a combo. I think that helps him too. Orochi's in a good spot. As for Shinobi, he's just a brand new hero. I think he's definitely far better off than he was, but I'd be lying if I still didn't think it was a bit too good. I think, and I don't know what needs to be fixed. I feel like if I took away something, it would make him weak again. I don't want to, maybe just take a step back. I think one thing that I definitely like to see gotten rid of is that weird heavy that he does at the end of a forward roll where it looks like he's doing a guard break almost. I don't know, that may be a bit too much. I don't like that as much. And maybe his handstand kick, I don't know, something's got to change. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me. I'm just telling you, I think Shinobi is great now. I think there's so much better about him. Take one step back, maybe take away one thing he had going for him, and maybe he'll be in a perfect spot. And of course, there's the fact that people just got to get used to him, you know? Once he's released and people are more used to him, I'm sure people will say, oh, he's still nerfed, he's still weak, but that's how it always happens, isn't it? A hero gets a buff, over time people get used to the buff and figure him out, and now he's too weak. That's pretty much always how it happens. But anyway, those are my final thoughts on the testing grounds. I think that the three heroes got excellent reworks. I'm really excited to see them go live. I see no reason why they shouldn't go live in the next season. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see where they go from there. It feels like the heroes are finally really getting balanced, guys. I know that this has been a big complaint from people in For Honor for a long time, that none of the characters are properly balanced. I feel like we're starting to get there. But anyway, moving on. The third point. Okay, so this is a little bit personal. the Captain America video that I released talking about how Captain America is dead, I feel like I need to clarify a few points here. Let me make it clear. I try very hard not to get my personal politics involved in this channel because this isn't the place for that. I'm not going to do that. Y'all don't need to hear it. I try to keep it all divorced from that. But I do feel like I stepped a little into the political frame with that Captain America video, and I think some people noticed that. So let me go ahead and clear the air just a little. In terms of my political beliefs, I think most of you can tell where I stand. I love America. I'm a proud advocate for freedom, liberty, and the American dream. I am a Christian, and I will not apologize for any of it. And based on those truths, I think you can guess where I stand. Now, does this mean that I'm going to shame anyone who disagrees with me? Absolutely not. As I've said in previous videos, I will never insult or shame anyone just because they disagree with me on anything, be it something as small as For Honor or as big as political points. I allow everyone to speak their mind freely. Where I draw the line is insults. So that's why you'll never hear me insult these people. So, just so you know, that's where I stand. Now, Matt CMG, an OG on YouTube, like, very awesome guy. He's been watching my videos, and I have no idea why, but I really appreciate it. He made a comment on the Captain America video saying that he believes that what all of this is Captain America at his low point, and he's going to get better by the end of the comic series, and that I jumped the gun a bit too fast and made brash assumptions without letting it pan out. I think he makes a fair point there. Maybe I am making a sudden brash assumption. And I think he makes another good point, that maybe we will see Captain America rise from this and become better. But I still stand by my point that this was sudden and out of left field in a way that was really inappropriate for the character. I genuinely hope that what they do is exactly what Matt said. We will see him grow from this very low, unexpected point into a much better point where I actually see Captain America should be. I don't think this was the right way to handle it. I think that this is a very poor way to handle Captain America, but if that is indeed their plan, it's a lot better than what I feared would be the case. I stand by my point, but if any of y'all were thinking that, hey, you know, Raven, this was you getting way too political, I apologize that y'all felt that way. I stand by my position. Okay, so off of that topic, let's get back into For Honor stuff. So for those of you who follow my channel for a long time and have been waiting and waiting and waiting, I got good news. For Honor and Glory is being drafted. The next chapter is being drafted. I'll have it out hopefully before the end of the month. But keep in mind that at the end of this month, two things are happening. One, the new hero is coming out, so we'll have a lot of content dedicated to that new hero. And two, I've got my cousin's wedding to go to in Washington, D.C., which is going to be quite the drive, and it's going to be over a week long. I will not be able to make a lot at that point. So what I want to do is get For Honor and Glory done before that. Hopefully I will. It all depends on work scheduling, but we'll see how that works. So that y'all know, it is in process. All right, and then story sharing time. As I said, I really like to do, I share with y'all some of the stories that I work on. So let's do a quick story share time. So last time I talked about my story, Troy and Frost, which is a side project that I do with Jay. It feels only natural that I talk about another one that I do as a side project, but this side project is done with not just Jay, it's also done with my friend Hannah, a buddy of mine named Aaron. We've all been working on it for a long time. It's called New Epoch or New Epic, depending on however you pronounce it. It is basically an answer to this question. I love post-apocalyptic stories, but I also love high fantasy. And I also find isekai anime, which is anime where a person in the normal world, our world, gets sucked into a fantasy RPG style world and has to live in it. You know, your stuff like Sword Art Online and, you know, stuff like that. Or Rising of the Shield Hero. These are isekai animes. And I always thought, what if we change it up a little bit? What if instead of the person going into the fantasy world, what if the fantasy world came to us? And in this case, the world has gone through a massive metamorphosis where the entire world has entered a post-apocalyptic stage where we have regressed to a fantasy society. Foliage has become overgrown all around the world. Continents have reshifted and reshaped. It's become a massive changed direction, and over 2/3 of the world's population have just been destroyed from all these natural disasters and changes. Those that have survived, some of them have gone through strange changes where they have become the, you know, fantasy races and stuff that we see in fantasy and high fantasy lore. Like you got your elves, your dwarves, your orcs, your ogres, stuff like that. And the story follows a group of friends who are in this one area, and they are trying to find this place that's supposed to be a utopia. There's rumors of a utopia on the other side of the world because it's been 10 years since the Great Change, and people are saying that there's one area that's been untouched by all these changes. It's a safe haven for everybody. It's still a bastion of the American dream, and if you get there, you'll be welcomed with open arms, blah, blah, blah. So they're trying to find a way to get there, but fight their way through all these weird changes. While all this is going on, you've got radicals who believe that their new race is the supreme race. You've got radicals who believe that this is punishment from God, very much New Eden's Gate kind of thing. And they're trying to punish the heretics who have all become monsters, stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun experimenting with this kind of stuff. Like, what would it look like if the world suddenly turned out like this? It's been very fun. You're looking at pictures scrolling across the screen. If any of it sounds interesting to you, please give it a look. I really enjoy working on this story. It's a lot of fun. Ask me about it sometime. I'd love to fill you in on the details, but that's my story sharing for today. All right, so let's start to wrap this up. So For Honor Friday, I will do another For Honor Friday this week, but it will be PS4 exclusive for a little while. Until I get this shit figured out with my PC, I'm just going to stick to PS4 for a while. And then the purpose of this channel, I want to get this out of the way. I think a lot of people misunderstand this because I had a few comments where people say, I thought your channel was just a For Honor channel. And it is. It is a For Honor channel. I talk For Honor a lot here, and I'm glad to. But I want it to be a little bit more than For Honor. I want to talk history. I want to talk gaming. I want to talk culture. I want to talk storytelling and pacing. And of course, I want to talk about critiquing these things. So that's why you'll see Raven's response videos. That's why you'll see me responding to history discussions. You'll see me talking about gaming in general and my thoughts on gaming. I'm not a gaming aficionado. I'm not someone who understands the mechanics of all these different games. Usually I'm looking at character design, gameplay, game mechanics, stuff like that. That's more my thing. And a lot of it's very personal or subjective. So please don't take what I say as gospel. Take it with a grain of salt. But that's kind of the purpose of this channel. It is largely For Honor. I love doing For Honor content. But one day, I'm going to run out of things to talk about with For Honor, or For Honor is going to just sort of peter out. I hope that doesn't happen anytime soon, but when it does, I want this channel to survive anyway. You know, I want to still do other things with it. So help support the other stuff I do. If you go looking through my channel, you'll see a lot of other stuff not pertaining to For Honor. If you want to give that a look, please do. We really appreciate it. And that about wraps things up, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's another one of those updates that I really had a lot to say. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Remember, if we reach 10,000, I will do another Q&A stream and probably do something else really cool. Not sure yet. Go watch my brother's video on the Railroad and Fallout 4. I think you'll really like it. Be ready for the next one to come out. I hope you guys are excited for what's coming to the channel. Leave a comment down below with your questions, comments, and concerns. Stay tuned for a poll that's going to be coming out later about which heroes in history I'm going to do next. And I will see you in my next video. Take care.
Come feel the bite of my sword! This is the judgment of the righteous, scum!